Morning. I hope I'm audible to you guys now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so in last class, we mainly discussed about the techniques of knowledge representation. So here I have informed you guys that there are 4 ways to represent or techniques to build a knowledge representation system. First is your logic representation, and it is all about just logics. That means you will find out what are the facts, those are true or false. Okay, so in logical representation, there are mainly 2 things: syntax and semantics. So syntax will mainly tell you how to uh, construct your legal sentences with the help of some symbols. Okay, and semantics will basically try to give a meaning to the sentence. Right? Then again, this logical representation, there are mainly 2 types. One is propositional logic and one is predicate logics. Okay, a predicate logic is also known as first order logic. Okay, from next class on, maybe we'll start today itself the propositional logic part. So logical representation we will discuss a bit more elaborately later. So before that, we also discuss about semantic and frame representation. So what was semantic network representation? It's basically like our graphical network, and it consists of nodes and arcs. So main advantage was that it was easy to understand and we can easily extend it. Okay, so in this case we have mainly 2 types of relationship: is a relationship or kind of relationship. Okay, so you can represent any sentences like this in the form of nodes and your arcs. So this is more like your entity relationship diagram from your database. Then after this, we have frame representation. So frames is like your AI data structure. So it mainly consists of slots and slot values. So every slot has a name and the values will be called as facets, or sometimes it is also called fillers or filters. Both are correct. Okay, so okay, so frames you can represent in terms of some tables. You can just say your slots are the entities and the fillers or the filters are the attributes, just like we do in our database management system. So they are together just stored in frames. Okay, so whenever there is a requirement, the machine just interferes the necessary information to take the decision. Okay, for example, like here you have seen the frame of book. So in the frame of books, there will be some values like title, author, edition and all. Then you can just keep the values in the filters or fillers or the facets. Okay, so similarly, you can just keep another type of entity relationship thing like employee and entity objects. Okay, then you can just keep name like employee name. Then there will be some attributes. Okay, so these two are comparatively simpler. So I guess both of means all of you are just clear about these two types, semantic network and frame representation. Yes. Yes, right. You guys understood semantic network and the frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today next we will see the third type, which is your propositional logics. Before that, let's just finish the production rule. There's another one, right? Let's see the production rule one first before going to the propositional logic. So production. Okay, wait, my FTP is going on to. Okay, I hope you guys cannot hear the FTP part. Anyways. Okay, so your production rule system mainly consists of condition and action. These are basically condition and action. Okay, so it's two pairs, so it will be like if condition then action. If it satisfies the condition, then just action. So it will have mainly three parts. Okay, first is set of, the whole thing will have like three parts. One is set of production rule, your working memory, and the recognized act cycle. Okay, there will be production rules, then there should be some memory to remember what happened earlier, and third is your recognize act cycle. So suppose some conditions are matching with already existing production rules, or already maybe some function have already done that part, so it will try to recognize that and act accordingly. So this cycle will be like, it's like a continuous process. Okay, it will keep doing whenever it gets a new situation or new type of sentences. Okay, so in production rules, agents checks for the condition, and if the condition exists, then production rule fires. Okay, it just like your normal condition thing, and then corresponding actions that is associated with the production rule will be carried out. Okay, so the condition part of the rule will determine which rule may be applied to a problem. So there will be many different types of production rules. Then for a particular problem, you have to find out or determine which production rule will be useful. And accordingly, you will identify that production rule and you will just act as per that production rule. Okay, and the action part will carry out mainly associated problem solving steps. Okay, action means how you are going to solve that problem. It's like a steps. Okay, so the complete process is called your recognize, act cycle. Okay, this one is clear. What is recognize, act cycle? Okay. So the working memory will basically contain the description of the current state of the problem solving. And there will be certain rules which we can write, with which we can write the knowledge to the working memory. So this knowledge match and may fire other rules. Okay, so in working memory, we will just store the rules. Okay, then if there is any new situation or a new state is generated, then multiple production rules will be fired together, and this is called your conflict set. Okay, the word is conflict set. Normally for one production rule there will be one fire, just like your neurons in artificial neural network. In neurons it fires whenever a condition satisfies. So one type of neuron fire. So here also, like if production rule satisfies, it will fire. Fire means it will just click, it will do the functioning part. So sometimes it happens like for a new states, maybe multiple production rule will be fired together. So that is called your conflict set. Okay. So in this situation, the agents need to select a rule from the sets, and it is called like conflict resolution. Since lots of production rules fired together, then the agent will select which rule he should go for. Okay, then it will be like conflict resolution. Okay, some example of your production rule based representation can be like suppose if maybe at bus stop and bus arrives, that's your condition. Okay, it's like then action will be get into the bus. Okay, this is one production rule. This is one type of production rule. Another can be like if bus arrives at destination, then you can write like action will be get down from the bus. Okay, so this is some examples of production rule based knowledge representation. So everything will be in terms of if and then. If this is the condition, then perform the action this. Okay, then you can add many other rules if you want. Like for example, you can keep like if on bus and unpaid, then action should be like pay charge. Then you can add some more sentences like if on the bus and paid and there are empty seats, then action like sit down, right? So it's up to you what type of sentences you want to add. Just that the formation will be like this. Okay, is it clear? The unpaid one you can write like if on bus and paid and empty seats, then then action will be sit down. So for this particular one, it has to satisfy all these conditions. First, agent should be on the bus, then it should be paid, and there should be empty seats. That means if you are on the bus but you didn't pay, then you cannot sit down. Again, if you paid and you are in the bus but there are no empty seats, that means you cannot sit down. Then again can be like if you are on the bus, there are empty seats but you didn't pay, then also you cannot sit down. So for this type, it has to satisfy all these conditions, then only the action will be sit down. Okay, so you have to think about your rules by your own. Okay, and accordingly you will write these if then type of conditions. Okay, so what will be the advantage of this type of production rules? First thing is that we can just express this type of knowledge representation using our natural language, right? It's just like English language. Okay, then this type of production rules are like highly modular. We can just easily remove them, or we can add new sentences, or we can just modify individual rules. Okay, and the whole control will be in our hand. Since it's more like natural language, we easily understand the conditions or the rules, and we can make the rules, we can add them, we can modify them, we can remove them whenever we want. Okay, what will be the disadvantage? What will be the possible disadvantage? Lack of time. No, not exactly. Think again. See, I'm telling you, it's all like user dependent. I'm giving the conditions and I'm making the actions and I'm making all the rules. So if everything is done by the user, then there will be no learning involved. The agent is not learning anything. So agent is just working or following the rules I have set for it, right? So there is no learning involved here. It's all user dependent, and it does not store the results of the problem for the future use. Okay, that's the main problem for production rule based system. Then again, like I said, there can be like for one new situation, multiple production rules can arise or fire at the same time, which you can tell as conflict set. So many rules may be activated at the same time. So this rule-based production system is not that efficient. Okay, it's inefficiency. Everything is predefined. Yes, everything is predefined. Like uh, no, Yeah, predefined, but you can also add and modify things, right? Just that you are making the conditions, so everything is in your hand. So for the agent, you are writing this if then conditions for the agents, right? So here agent is not learning anything. Okay. Same thing is in case of semantic network also, right? Because you are giving the all the commands, you are creating the nodes, you are creating the relationship and all. So in semantic network also, and in this case also, it's mainly dependent on the user or the creator of the system. Agent is not that intelligent. They are not learning anything. But at least in a semantic system, there are some nodes. So means everything is there. It's not like in production rules, some results are not stored for the uh, future use. But in case of semantic representation, the whole network is there. So if sometimes some situations are matching, then it can just search in the whole semantic network. Okay, but it's a different case if it could not find a solution in there. That's the inefficiency of the semantic network. Okay. Okay, so these are the 4 types of techniques for knowledge representation. Now we will move to the logic one. Okay, logical representation, because this chapter is kind of concerned with this part. Knowledge means we care about the reasoning part, right? It will have some knowledge and it will reason about the knowledge it will have, and based on it will act. It should be intelligent enough. In other 3 part, you can 3 techniques, you can see the agent is not that intelligent. Everything is on the uh, creator of the system. But in case of logical representation, it's something which knowledge-based agents use. And that's using these logics, they become intelligent. Okay, it can work accordingly. So in logical representation, I said there are 2 parts. One is propositional logic, and one is your predicate logic, or also known as your first order logic. So we will try with the propositional logic first. Okay, so let's go to the logic part. Okay, logical representation. So logic means what? Yes. I can just get up total active enough. Okay, so anyways, so logic is the basic method used to represent the knowledge of a system, and logic means we can apply the intelligence over the stored knowledge. So knowledge base is the stored knowledge. So using the logic, we can just improve the intelligence of the agents. So first thing is we are going to see is the propositional logic. Okay. So propositional logic is also known like statement logic or sentinel logic and all. So this is mainly used for representing the knowledge about what is true and what is false. Okay. It's more like true and false statements. Okay. So it's the simplest form of logic where all the sentences are made by the propositions. And propositions means what? What was the proposition? Proposition is your declarative statement. Okay. Proposition means what? Proposition means declarative statement. So this declarative statement will be either true or false. Okay, the proposition means declarative statement and these statements will be either true or false. So it is the knowledge represent techniques based on the logic and the mathematical forms. Some of the example you can see like very simple one. It is a Sunday. So is it true? No, so it's a false proposition. Today is not Sunday. So it's a false one. Again, you can say like the sun rises from east. So is it true or false? This is your false proposition. Sun rises from the east. That's correct, right? So this is your true proposition. Then again, you can say 3 plus 3 equal to 7. Is it a correct statement? It's false. So again, it's a false proposition. So proposition logic means it just consists of your declarative statement, and just that here the sentences can be either true or false. Okay. So there are some basic facts about your propositional logics, like it is also called as your Boolean logic. Why it is called Boolean logic? These are also called Boolean logics. It's simple, right? It just works on 0 and 1, true or false. Yeah, just two output, true or false, or can say 0 and 1. Okay, so in propositional logic, we use symbolic variables to represent the logic, and we can use any symbols for that. Okay, here we are going to use symbolic variables. Variables to represent the logic. Okay, and these symbols can be anything. You can use any symbols, any alphabets like A, B, C, P, Q, anything. It's totally up to you. Okay, so propositions can be either true or false, but it cannot be both. Okay, and propositional logics mainly consist of an object, relation or functions, and logical connectives. Okay, it consists of what? There will be logic, there will be relation, or you can say function, then there will be logical connectives. And connectives are mainly known as your logical operators. This is means you can say logical operators. Like in logical operators means we can use it like and or not, that type of logical relationships. Okay, so propositions and the connectives are the basic element of your propositional logics. Okay, so connectives can be like your logical operator which connects two statements. Okay, these are the main two things, logic and logic connections. So this will bind any two kind of logic. Maybe this is one logic, there's another logic you can connect with the help of like and relationship, or you can connect with the or relationship, like that. It is sometimes also similar to your if else statement as well. We will see that. Okay, so a proposition formula which is always true is known as tautology. Okay, tautology. Tautology means what? Proposition formula which is always true. Always true. Okay. Then of course, if there are proposition, those are always true, then there will be statements will be always false. So those are called your contradiction. These are two terms, means proposition formula, which is always, okay, always false. Okay, if statements are always true, then it's tautology. Otherwise, if it is always false, then it's a contradiction. And formula which has both true and false value, normally it just mix up. Okay. Then some examples which are not exactly propositional propositions, like where is Ram and how are you, what is your name? These are kind of questions, right? These are not proposition, these are not logic. So if you find any statement which involves some questions like where, how, what, so questions, commands, or opinions are not propositions. Okay, questions, commands, or opinions are not propositions. Okay, now there are certain syntax for propositional logic. Okay, syntax of your propositional logic will define the allowable sentences for the knowledge representation. Okay, obviously you cannot just write anything, you have to follow certain syntax. Remember, in logical representation, we have syntax and semantics. So here comes the syntax of your logic. Okay, syntax of. So basically there are two types. One is atomic propositions, and second one is your compound. So atomic one is your very simple one. It consists of single proposition logic. Okay, and these are the statements which must be either true or false. Okay, for atomic you can say just single proposition symbol. And in case of compound one, you can construct compound propositions by combining simpler or atomic proposition using parentheses or logical connectives. So here, this compound one, you can construct using multiple atomic proposition. Atomic one is single proposition logic, and compound one is just constructed by combination of atomic. Okay, so mainly you can use parentheses and logical connections. So what are the example of atomic? You can say 2 plus 2 is 4, right? So it is a simple atomic proposition and it's a true fact. Then again, you can say the sun is cold, which is also a single proposition and it is a false fact. Okay, so this is your true fact and this is your false fact, and this is just single statement. So what can be the example of compound? Suppose it is raining today and street is wet. Okay, this is a statement. Then again you can say Ram is a doctor and his clinic is at Guwahati. Okay, these are the example of your complex compound propositions. So you can see there are two sentences connected by and relationship. Okay, here just a single statement and it can be either true or false. But here it's like a two sentences and there are relations or connectives using the and one. There can be or anything. Okay, ma'am, can we say syntax of the propositional logic is rules? Yes, rules. It's kind of rules. Proposition syntax means these are the valid way. These are the rules. Yeah, you have to follow this. If you are writing an atomic proposition, then you can write like this. Okay. There are more because I said you can represent the logic with the help of symbols. So this is a particular statement. So you can say this is just P and this is just Q. This whole sentence you can just write like this. Okay, this is the syntax. And here you can see there are two statements. One is it is rainy day. You can say this is P, a symbol, and street is wait is a Q. So P is equivalent to the rule or the syntax or the statement proposition it is raining today. And street is wet is another statement or proposition. So this type you can just say like P and Q. This is and or conjunction. Okay, we will learn about this thing more in the next class. Okay. There are different types of logical connectives like this one and is one type of logical connectives. Conjunction, there are disjunctions, that means or, then there are negation, implications, bidirectional connectives. Okay. Okay for today?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so meeting is going to end today. We will just start from this part tomorrow. Tomorrow I have class. Oh, tomorrow I don't have class. Thursday. Okay, see you on Thursday. Okay, switch on your videos for a while.
Ma'am, I'm also present. Just now exam over.
Huh.
More present as ma'am. Exam just over.
Okay, কেনেকুৱা হ'ল?
Ma'am, ইয়াক absent দিব।
কেনেকুৱা হ'ল exam?
বেয়া আছে।
আচ্ছা, হ'ব next try কৰিলে হ'ল।
Exam easy আছিলে, মোৰ ভুলৰ কাৰণে বেয়া হ'ল।
আচ্ছা, হ'ব বাৰু একো নাই। Okay, see you in next class.
এতিয়া
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.